Welcome to today's lesson on creating a spanner in Creo. What I want to start out by getting you to look at is our basic spanner design here consists of a circle here, another circle here, with a radius of 21, and we understand that if our radius is 21, then our diameter from here to here is going to be 42. You'll also see the shape of a rectangle starting to take form. If you follow it all the way through, you can imagine a rectangle being drawn through here. So we're going to be creating a rectangle that goes through our two circles, and our origin line, which is straight through here, and our reference line through here, allows us to create a couple of measurements. That means that our circle is going to be from the middle of the 2 points here, 120 millimeters, and our rectangle is going to have a width of 20, and will be 10 millimeters either side of our origin. When we draw these points here, 120 degrees, and when I get into designing, you'll see me talk about a measurement of 60 degrees, which I'll explain in a minute to you. Our extrude is 8 millimeters, which is our depth, and our rounded edges are going to be 3 millimeters. So let's begin by going into Creo. So you should have gone File, New, and you can call it spanner. Now I'm pretty sure if I go spanner, it's going to say I've already got one. So I'll just go spanner 3 because I might have done this a couple of times. Now that was drawn on the top view. So we're going to start, see how many measurements I can remember. So into our top view, so we click on top. We're going to extrude. We're going to draw two circles on our origin. So one here, click off, click here, click off, wait till the R symbol appears, and then click. We'll go to our select tool. Now remember our diameter is, our radius was 41, so let's just double check that. Our radius is 21, so our diameter is 42. So 42, we'll zoom in a little bit. You'll see there's two distances here. So when we did that, our circles have changed. Now remember that from the middle of those two circles it's 120. So obviously at 143 and 134 we're incorrect. So I can go 60 that side, 60 that side, which would give us a total of 120. I do have the option of using this feature here, which is our normal tool. I can click on the middle line, click there right in the center, middle scroll, and it'll tell me there straight away that those distances is 120. And what I get the option is I can delete these bottom 2 points if I wish to, and that will actually allow me to keep that 120 measurement. So it says 120 there, 60 through there. You don't have to do that. If you can work out the measurement, it's fine to keep it. Our rectangle is going to go straight through just like this. It doesn't have to be pinpoint accurate. We'll adjust it in a second. Click off, back to our mouse. Now you remember that our width was 20. Adjust that. Now this is not quite right, and our distance either side is 10, and it automatically moves it into the correct position for you. Our next step involves us drawing these features here. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a line back here over the middle of our center point of the circle and come down and click back. It's a fairly easy operation once you see it actually done. So we'll do that. We'll use our line tool. So from back here, over there, it locks into position over the top of the circle. Click all the way through, click back. I can middle scroll click to deselect, or I can click on the select tool up there. Repeat the same on the other side. So from back here, click through, all the way through, all the way back, making sure those points come up, and middle scroll click off. Click on the select tool, and I should get some measurements. So earlier I spoke about the angle. So this angle here is 120, that's what we're aiming for, which means this angle here is going to be 60. And some of your mathematics, it'll be coming back. So we're going to shift, middle scroll, click to move across. Now, just trying to move out a little bit. So we've also got, if we come in down here, we're trying to get some additional angles. So sometimes you don't always get the angle that you're actually after, and you can sort of go through and click those points and middle scroll click, and you can actually get some angles. Now that's a big one. Obviously we don't want an angle like that, but what's actually happened I actually happen to have drawn those exactly right. You'll notice that we've got these parallel lines here. That 1 and 1 is actually telling me I've already got the correct measurement. So if you have that, that's fine, but your drawing may actually, I'll just delete that because I don't want it, may actually give you both angle measurements. If it does, you need to put in 60 to get the correct point. You could also use the tool here to go from there to that line, and you could also work out the distance, which if you recall, 5.77, looking back, is actually what that was. So I've got that spot on. Going back into Creo, we now need to make it look a little bit more like our original drawing. So I'll just delete that. We don't need that point either. So within the program, sorry, I've actually made a mistake there. If you look very closely when I've drawn that spanner, you notice I've got that over the center point. For some reason I've not done that. So I'll just undo what I was doing. I'll just quickly draw through the lines. You may make this mistake as well. So using our delete segment tool, back to our line tool, click up through there, down through there, and back through there, and click off. Just be careful. Obviously I've made that mistake going a little bit too quick. Once we get back from there, our select tool, and yeah, we've still got our parallels, so they are correct distances. So as long as we've got this here, we know that those 2 points are going to be exactly the same. Right, now we need to delete some things to get our spanner looking a little bit like what our original picture was. So I'll bring it into view so we can see it all. Now this tool allows us to remove lines. We just draw through. We're just going to get rid of all of those extra ones that were there. There's 2 there, that one there, that one there. Repeat on the other end. Draw through, that one and that one. There's one there, there's one there, there's one there, and there's one there. And we also need to remove those 2 ones in the middle. If you got that correct and you've removed all of those points through there, you can tick, oh, I've made a mistake somewhere. So it's telling me that I've not removed one of the lines. So I'm going to say no, have a look and see where I've actually missed one. There it is right there. Sometimes you've got to look a little bit harder. You can remove these lines if you want that are on the screen. So just make sure you've not done what I've done there. Left one of those lines. Let's try again. Okay, now we've got our spanner. Our depth, we rotate, so middle scroll click and rotate to the side. Our extrusion is 8. We're happy with that. We can tick that off. And our rounded edges were 3. So click on the rounded tool, 3. You need to click on these points just to get that rounded. I'll do this fairly quickly. Just click on each angle edge until it highlights a little green. It does take a little while. It's quite a tedious task. Rotate to the other side. Clicking on each one as you do it. Let's check the other side. I've got a feeling I've missed one. Oh no, I've got them all. Once you're happy with that, tick. You can color it. This is covered in one of the previous videos if you want to go through and color it. And there we go. We have our spanner designed just like the original illustration. From there, make sure you do create a screen snapshot using the snipping tool, or if you're on a Mac, it's going to be Command-Shift-4, and that's going to be used in your folio later.